All you real estate professionals, advisors out there, I know this NAR thing has been beaten into the ground, but there's still a lot of misinformation, confusion on. I know Washington State's been innovative, kind of in being at the forefront of the NAR changes and all that are upcoming in August. But how can we as lenders bring our kind of expertise into the equation here to protect your paycheck and show different options to your buyer and to the seller to make sure that it's a win-win for all parties? And so what I'm going to show you are 5 compensation options in this climate that you may or may not know about. But again, the lender is going to be pivotal, I think, with negotiating. And we're starting to do what we call pre-offer consults with buyers and making sure that we are on the phone with the buyer's agent to go, all right, if the seller is only going to pay this much in real estate commissions to the buyer's agent, what do we need to do to get creative here and structure it that's going to work for the buyer's cash to close and their payment, and also make sure you're compensated again for your time. And so what I wanted to show you here, and you can click on the top right of this video and you can get access to this report. Give me a call, shoot me a text. I'm happy to go over this with you on the phone or in person if you want to grab a quick coffee. And we'll talk about how this can impact your business model and make sure you're equipped, again, working with the right lending team that's going to be able to keep deals together, get creative in these new marketplace that we're in, so that everyone succeeds. That's the goal here. So what the assumption is here on the left side is we're going to go by column here, is that you have a buyer, they're going to purchase a $750,000 home. They're going to put 10% down. Here's the purchase price, loan amount, their 30-year fixed rate, and here's their payment all in, taxes, insurance, all that included, in cash to close. This left column, seller paid, is just assuming in a traditional environment, the seller is going to pay your commission, which in this example is 2.5% as the buyer's agent. They're going to pay the listing agent 2.5% as well, for a total of 5%. That's the ideal situation, more traditional to what we've seen in the past. And so what we want to do is now compare it to the seller paid and go, all right, let's have a situation. Your client wants to buy this house, but the seller wants to pay $0 in buyer's agent's commission. What are our options here? And what would this look like to our buyer in this situation? Well, the second option is they can finance it into the loan. Purchase price stays the same. Now their loan amount is going to be $693,750, and where that number comes from is that it's 2.5% of the purchase price of $750,000, which is $18,750. That's your real estate commission that somebody needs to pay for, so that you're compensated that 2.5% off purchase price of $750,000. All we're doing here is just bumping that $18,750 into that original loan amount, and they're financing it. What's that do to the payment? It jumps it up to $52.48 versus $51.24. If the buyer's comfortable with that $130 increase in monthly payment, that's great. Cash to close really just stays the same due to the fact that they financed your buyer's agent's commission, the 2.5%, into their loan just by putting less down than maybe they were originally planning to. Totally fine to do that. We would structure it again into the contract appropriately. The third option is they can finance it into the price. All right, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I'm willing to buy your house now for $768,750. That's $18,750 above the list price. Buyer's going to put 10% down still. So their loan amount is this here based on that scenario. Rate's the same in all these strategies. Now their payment's $52.36, which is less than the financed and loan option. Cash to close, though, is going to be a little bit higher because they're putting 10% down on a higher purchase price, but their payment's a little bit lower. This is another option that would be available, assuming we didn't feel like we would have any appraisal issues and things like that. We're simply bumping it up the purchase price to get your buyer's compensation back to you as an agent. The fourth option is they simply pay your commission in cash. Purchase price $750. Here's their loan amount. Payments the same as the first strategy. except their cash to close is higher because now they're paying the $18,750 out of pocket to you as a buyer's agent. That's totally fine as well. The fifth option, which I can't show you on here just due to we can only show 4 strategies, would be a combination of the seller's going to offer 1% to you as a buyer's agent. You would like 2.5%. Well, we can strategize and cover the gap for that extra 1.5% by utilizing any of these strategies here that I've already showed you. And so that's the fifth option, is if there's some kind of a blend of, again, the seller doesn't want to compensate the full 2.5%. Maybe your buyer's agreement with your client says, I need to be compensated 2.5% to work with me. Seller's going to only pay 1% or 1.5%, whatever it is. We can find, again, creative strategies to cover that difference, whether the buyer pays the cash difference out of pocket, whether they finance it into the loan or a higher purchase price. That's all available to do. But to be able to show this to your client in a way that they can go, all right, I can stomach this payment. I can make the cash to close work if I need to go a little bit higher. This is the stuff that we want to bring into the equation with you to make sure every single buyer you're working with, that they have a pre-offer consult with a local lending team like ours that's got this software. They have the wherewithal and the knowledge to be able to break all this down and keep all parties happy and deals happening. I know this market is already shifting a little bit, but bring the lender involved early, point of consult, pre-offer. We want to, again, make sure that everyone's comfortable and there's full transparency on the strategy we're doing. Let me know your thoughts on this. I would welcome any feedback. And again, give me a call, shoot me a text if this is something that you want to talk about for your business model. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.